welcome to the Film Center. It's a great honor for us to be able to present the U.S. premiere of the new film by Jean-Marie Straub and Danièle Huillet, Too Early, Too Late, and especially to have with us here, courtesy of the Goethe Institute and the Department of Filmmaking here at the school, both filmmakers, Jean-Marie and Danièle.
I have nothing to say. I am not a speaker, and I am not able to speak, and I did not learn English. But only two slogans. They are not slogans because I hate slogans. The first one is from David Ward Griffiths. He said, what modern movie lacks is the wind. The moving wind in the trees. The second slogan will be from a woman called Rosa Luxemburg. She said, destiny. It does say destiny, but it's not a good word. Destiny from of an insect is not less important than the fate. Yes, fate of an insect is not less important than the, but fate without fatality. Future of what we call, let us say, revolution. That was the second slogan. And now two things more, and then we can see the film. A painter called Paul Cézanne tried more and more to paint only reality, not sans la déformer, sans la transformer, without transforming and deforming. How do you say? Deforming. And he tried to look behind. For example, he said he painted more and more a certain mountain called Montagne Sainte-Victoire. And he painted only a mountain, and it was only a mountain, and not. But he said, look at this mountain. Once it was fire. Once it was fire. Now the last thing. Maybe you could say something.
No, I cannot.
Afterwards, the last thing is only. I think now 19% from the film, 99% from the film from the contemporary films, let us say that, from today, more and more want to give the impression that you can show something in it. But when you are looking closer, you discover that they have nothing to show. Absolutely nothing. Only agitation. We try to make with this film the contrary. So at the beginning, maybe you think it is nothing to show. But I said to you, look at it. You will see it's a lot of things to see. Have you something to say? No. So I hope you want to say something, because I have nothing to say. I cannot see you. You can. Yes.
Why were the sections entitled if they were pretty original and why were they entitled? What was the question? Why were the sections entitled as they were? Weavers, angles, and
Because the first, in the first part, the text comes from a letter from Friedrich Engels to a certain Kautsky, and in the second part, the text comes from postface in a book like that from two Egyptians called Mamoutus. And there were 7 years in a concentration camp at time from Nasser, and they are working now in Paris. There are two different texts, two kinds of texts too, because the text of Engels is a completely different kind of text than the text of I think not only as text, but in his ideology too. The first text is Engels' ideology, and the second text is more on Maoist ideology, if you want. But it's a little forced. What was the question?
I just don't understand why.
So the text from Engels is a text from after the death of Marx, much later, and the text from both Egyptian people. They take for his book one name. One is called Bargat el-Nadi, who speaks the text in English. He did it too in French. And the other one, what's the name? And they wrote a book under pseudonym. And it was for us interesting too to compare the two different textures and to the different ideologies. You want to say something more? Yes.
Why did you spend so much time showing the shots of the Egyptian road, the highway, the countryside there? Why was so much time spent on that, on those two? What were you trying to show there?
Nothing, only what happens on the roads. I think in our countries and in the United States, for example, roads not belong anymore to the people. Roads belong to the cars, or belongs to the societies building highways and building cars. And in this country, roads belong still to the people. You saw that in France, on the roads, nothing happens. It was not our intention to show an empty country, and we shot the film in France at the same season 1 year before. Then we shot in Egypt 1 year after, and in France nothing happens. If in France something would have happened, the same, we would have taken the same time and the same length to show what could be happening on the roads in France, but nothing happened. And in Egypt, it was not foreseen that the length of the shots were not foreseen. It came from that to what happens on the road. What was your second question? Or the question between or? Where it could be possible to change something like
turn on the light.
because it looks like police.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we can speak together. It's quite enough that we are on the high and you are. Yes, please excuse me.
Well, I just been seeing a connection between those long shots of the road and Egyptian nationalism or Egyptian mass movement or the revolution in Egypt. I just didn't see what you were trying to show there.
I think you can beginning from that point that extreme point. You have no connection between what you see and what the text tells. What you see is without relationship with the text. I can say more, it's in contradiction and is to put the text in question, to destroy the text, to deconstruct the text. But if you look more, maybe you can find a lot of contact points. But you want to see something more?
There is something. I don't think that. The places where we shot were the places where something happened, which is told in the text. When at the beginning, when they are speaking about peasant revolts against Napoleon and the French, the villages there are villages which were burnt by the French, for example. And at the end, a very long piece with 7 different places are the places where rebellions happened very late, 51, 52, just before the so-called coup d'etat.
So the 7 last landscape shots.
The places are not arbitrary.
If you want, apart this aspect, we wanted to show something which tells something completely different or else than what we tell in the narration, in the spoken text. It's all the film. The images of the film are only images from how do you say in English, the person in a certain novel from Franz Kafka called Castle. How is the name from that man? Landvermesser, the man. Huh? Surveyor is not good.
The one who measures the land.
It's not a good translation. A surveyor is not a formesser. A formesser is a man making like that. And this film is only a film from not surveyor, contrary, but formesser. Sorry, but if they translated land surveyor for Kafka, it's not a good translation. Even when the equivalent in English for formesser, land surveyor is even if.
Are you speaking German, not German? Where you practicing German?
No, the German word is formesser, land formesser. We wanted to know.
Land measure.
Yes. I think the difference.
Surveyor is something else.
Surveyor has something to do with police. Formesser, nothing. Look. No, he has to establish. How big is the field? How to put? Yes, all. Naturally, he works for something. He works for the people whom the land belongs, but his job is only to measure. And the difference between a society like the French society nowadays, today, and the Egyptian society today is that in France what we call the cadastre. How is that in English?
Cadastre.
The cadastre.
Cadastre.
You have an
In England there is. Yeah, I don't know, but in England there is.
You have an institution. It could be a state institution or I don't know. What? Who what? Which registers what belongs to whom and who which establish all the country fields and proper what belongs to whom.
Capital survey.
You can say.
Properties connected.
Yes.
Survey the land. Show you where private.
Yes, it's the reason why it's called surveyor.
Yes. But in countries like France or Germany or Italy or United States now, this institution called cadastre has eaten all the country because it does not exist anymore a place which does not belong to somebody. And it is registered in some part, archives, I don't know where, in some place, and everybody has to know and can learn or can know whom, which piece of the land whom belongs. And in Egypt, the situation is still, we are not as far. So it means maybe it could be possible one day to change something. In our country, it is too late. So what was your?
I was going to ask you, what is the answer? We can see the vision, but if the text is incorrect, what is the answer? In other words, I can see your vision, but what would the answer be? How these things are working?
My vision.
No. Huh? What is your question?
Well, in other words, he's saying that the text, the angle of the text, and you're kind of too late. So your vision, your perspective, the kind of objective view you have of seeing the land and what it really is, seeing the whole picture, and starting all over again in a sense. Well, how should it be done?
That is something that the people have to discover, not to be taught in a film.
I thought she says that it's too late. That's what John said, it's too late. She's saying that it's too late.
Yes, he said it's too late here and in Europe too, probably.
I
But-
think it's the other that somehow it is too late. Nothing is too late.
That's true also. It's too late now, but it does not mean that it will stay like that for eternity. Il y en a eu une là.
Maybe we have to come back to this question afterwards, which I don't understand as a question, because who wants to speak before?
I don't understand. You said that in Egypt it's different. C'est la système de propriété c'est différent en Égypte. C'est ça.
Because this system you mean it's not perfect or not perfect still. It's still not perfect. But we are what?
C'est encore féodal en Égypte, c'est ça? C'est encore communal, propriété? C'est pas encore. C'est ça ce que vous voulez dire?
Yes, partly, but not only. I mean, simply that the land belongs still partly to the people who works on it.
So, you say that in Egypt you still have a feudal system where the village controls the land rather than individual landowners.
But you cannot say feudal system, because feudal system is something concrete. It means concrete etap in the history. It's not the same.
So there's no landowners, it's just
Not only,
communal
There
property.
are also, but they are not only.
but not only.
And what I just wanted to say to, I think it was you,
Yes.
is that what happened on the roads, it's also a kind of, to stay with Kafka, it's a big theater, what happens there. With a big theater, a big show in a certain way. Even if we are not very used anymore to see.
Yes.
I
you making a comparison between the French Revolution and the Egyptian Revolution, or are you making a statement about all of them?
Well, modestly first, the first thing. I think in Egyptian they have not yet so-called comment on dit bourgeoise, révolution bourgeoise.
Middle class.
Yes.
It's very difficult. Middle class is not exactly bourgeois. So on. It's difficult because of the
So-
language, it's because of the history here, which is different.
So what happened in France, for example, 1789 did not happen in Egypt. What in France, for example, too late is after this kind of a precise class in France takes power 1789 and the year after, the years after. That is not the case till now in Egypt. So this class which takes power at that time in France, on dit refoulé, repressed, the class which helped to take power. And this is not, till now, not yet the case in Egypt. So what in France too late is for this is maybe not too late in Egypt. Yes.
What options then do you see for the post-industrial society in Western Europe and here, politically?
Quel quoi? Pour en Europe? Pourquoi post-industriel? Why did you say post-industrial?
Well, countries that are in this
We have to wait centuries to be post-industrial until we have ruined, destroyed a big part of our country before speaking of post-industrial. Before we have not destroyed part of our country, let us say quite before the capitalists has not finished to destroy big parts of our countries. We cannot speak from post-industrial society. Where?
precisely that.
We can speak from pre-industrial society in Egypt, for example, but we cannot speak from post-industrial society in Europe or in the United States. Excuse me, what do you say? What do you say? No?
Would the options then be personal?
Well,
In the United States?
or which kind of options?
Il faut savoir quel est l'avenir de l'Ouest.
I am not a prophet. I am a filmmaker.
But you must have an opinion.
What?
You must
No. I think the difference between me or I don't know. She can tell maybe she can afterwards say us or not. Between me and Godard is that Godard has many opinions, and I try to have no opinion. It's a hard work. It's a hard work, but because it's a work. Because I try and my strike consists in to try every day to have no opinion. Sorry, but still. What do you want to say now?
But as a filmmaker, you must see that some of these questions would be asked of the audience.
No, as filmmakers, I have to know how I stand, which relationship I have with what I am filming, and which relationship I have with people I am filming, or space I am filming. Very clear, but it's all. Too many makers have too many opinions and have no idea or no responsibility from their relationships with their own material and their own space and their own ground where they are. So they make shots which are not existing because they have no perspective and no construction and not existence. But with a lot of little opinions, you have it's not a way to have a perspective and what? Excuse me. That's not against Godard, because Godard has both, has some opinions and knows very well the distance and the perspective and the relationships. Excuse me, you were some.
Well, I'm going back to that perspective and issue. In other words, I feel that I understand your perspective, and I can see your vision. But now that we feel it and we know it, then do we just let things happen? Do we just allow things to happen? There's nothing to do assumptions. It's like action comes. I mean, my friend here said that film shows that you're anti-revolution.
That thing?
Yes, I didn't think you did necessarily.
We did not hear. What did your friend say?
My friend said it's anti-revolution.
Qu'est-ce qu'il a dit? No, what he says, your friend? I heard only the word revolution, that's all.
Against revolution.
But he can be quite against revolution. It changed nothing. It changed nothing. We are not the people making revolutions. We are not belonging to a class making revolutions. We are belonging to a class which has to disappear. That's all. Disappear. I said disappear. To vanish, if you want, prefer. And when we are trying to make something in Egypt to help something, we are making the same work which the CIA is making everywhere. It's no. Please?
They're so
Desperate.
No, I don't know. I think it's a film no, I think it could be the contrary. We are not to be discreet because we are not belonging to a class not making revolution. I don't know why. We are and c'est des grands mots, ça ne veut rien dire. I hope this film, against your desperation, that this film is able to give l'envie. I wanted to say the taste after, but before I wanted to say l'envie. But let us say the desire. It's a little stronger than envie, but let us say the desire. And the taste to strike and to defend and a small ball called our earth, in which we have feet and which is our ground, and which I think we have still now not a better one, and I think such a film could be the taste and the desire to live every second, every moment in the present against crimes and what happened in the past, and against certain desperation for the near future, but I think we have to be modest. This earth in which we are living was not made in one day. So I think I don't know why we are. That is even the what is the English word for hubris?
Hubris. What? Hubris.
So that is the most important aspect for this class which takes power 1789 and invents what we call now the Industrial Revolution, and which takes every means every day, and more and more with more and more means every day the Nazis have ever had. So now we are living in societies under states which have much more means, for example, with television and than the man called Dr. Goebbels, who was Minister of Propaganda from Adolf Hitler, have ever dreamed to have. And what happens? We, with this mean, what can I say? This man who govern us are trying every day to convince us that we are living in the best of the possible societies, because they are discovering that even it is not true. So more and more they have to convince us that it's true. Yes. And that we are living in a kind of society which can burn in 10 years what before was not possible to burn and was only possible to invent in centuries, for example, and thousands and thousands of years. And that is the biggest lie from this so-called capitalist society, to give the illusion that our time is gummy. What? Elastic. About the pain of what? The pain of endurance, I think, yes.
I have a technical question. Were the two texts talked about history in the present tense? Were they originally in the present tense, or is that why you chose them? Because they talked about the French Revolution as it's happening right now, and the same thing with some of these things that were happening in the 19th century. They use the present tense, and I just wondered if that was originally.
Yes, it is in the text. When the present time, Engel's text begins with past, and at one point it begins with present.
The same with us too. Did you choose that? I mean, was that one of the reasons why you chose the text?
It's not a danger, we take a risk.
No, she asked me one of the reasons. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
when you take a text, you take it also or something like that.
So, at a certain point of the film, I think it's a film too about, on dit l'éloignement?
Distance.
More than distance, about la proximité?
Nearness.
Nearness and distance, but more than distance.
Éloignement, would you say?
I do not want to use distance because we are
Getting far away.
and we are falling in 10 minutes in the distanciation and what I know, and then we are beginning to speak about Mr. Brecht, and Brecht has not to do with distanciation but with Verfremdung and so on. And then somebody comes and says to me, what's about alienation and so far. I want to say distance, these images and what you see at the beginning, you see what you film is only present. Even Griffiths, when he made, I don't know, Intolerance or what I know, made a film about prisons. But you can film with a certain distance or not. You can make this distance shorter or longer. So at the beginning from the film, you have the impression of prisons. Then these images are becoming more and more distant. And afterwards, the same images are becoming more and more present, even when the text tells about past.
Can you tell us what
So it's easier to begin with the last question, because I think the last question I cannot answer. You have to answer the last question. No, I am the last man able to answer your last question. No, landscape is not able to give a... Yes, please. Yes, please. But exactly that. Then I mean that is the beginning of the Weisheit. Wiseness. Yes.
Why do you compare with Kafka in this case?
With?
With Kafka.
No. I was only searching wealth.
Okay, and why do you think that this no progress, no opinion, no feeling, nothing?
Yes.
Nothing?
For that one you have the television every day.
Okay, why do you think that this is helpful? What do you intend to teach us by this nothing? In what measure is helpful for us to living in this nothing? What's the importance of this nothing?
Because I think when at that point when somebody is at that point, he maybe can begin to think by himself instead to be taught.
You mean that after you think that after we see this film, we feel the need to act and to do something good? I mean, to change something in the life, or what's your message? Your idea? What did you like in this film that you did? What did you like? What did you like in this film?
His sensuality.
Sensuality? Oh, good figure. But it's not enough.
Why?
It's not enough.
Why? Why?
It's not enough for us, for everybody, because, we could help. It's not enough.
No, we could help nobody.
In my opinion.
We could help nobody. The CIA helps everybody.
I am from a communist country, and this is Egypt. Maybe you defend the idea of freedom of land freedom, which is a very good and nice idea. But what you do, if you expect to us to do something, what do you do? What do you do?
I expect.
That you are doing something.
J'étais en politique, elle fasse quelque chose, et j'espère qu'elle ne fera rien du tout. I expect you are. I hope you have. No, dites-le. Non, pas du tout. I do not. I think this film was not made to make you do something. No.
But what are you hearing if we don't expect anything?
I can answer your first questions. We were in Egypt 72, it means when 10 years before making the film, and we had no intention going to Egypt. We were in Egypt to shoot 2 shots for Moses now. And we discover partly a country, and we had, when we came back, a lot of questions. Afterwards, we tried to understand something. And we made the film 10 years after, that's all. We had no intention before going. We had intention, we had questions coming back. That's not the same. That was the first question. What was the second? The other one was the first.
I wondered, why don't you show us some people, and why don't you tell anything about people, only roads or landscape or villages from far away?
But this film, you can see a lot of people.
No, you didn't stop and you didn't show us any.
I do not show in a certain sense nobody, that's true. But you can see, when you are looking, you can see a lot of people, much more than in 99% from the films, which gives the illusion that they are showing people.
You saw people there, but we don't see. We don't saw it here.
It's not my fault then. Yes.
Are you trying to see back 0 degree?
Quoi? Degré zéro de l'écriture? Okay. What is the question?
Each film, every time you make a new film, you are trying to stylistically you're breaking from each film, and I'm just wondering if you are trying to reach what Barth called the 0 degree for each film.
Sorry, I never read the text from Barth. But excuse me, a last question before you go. No, just please. Madam, please. A last question before you go. From which so-called communist country are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming from Romania. Doesn't matter.
Huh?
Now, there is an American song for children, and it says that the bear went over the mountain to see what he could see, and on the top of the mountain he saw the other side of the mountain. It was all that he could see, the other side of the mountain. And first it seemed to me a very fun song. After that, very stupid. And now it came in my mind about your movie. We saw the other side of the mountain, but it's the same. It's nothing new. I'm very sorry, maybe I'm unpolite, but no.
No, it's a good story. Yes. Yes, she was before it.
No, I just wanted to say is that I remember reading from Fassbinder who said, "Ich mag keine Bomben, ich mag Film." And is that what you're trying to do? I don't make bombs, I make films. You're not interested so much in the political. It's by not having an opinion, maybe you're having a stronger opinion. By not making a bomb, maybe you're making your own bomb.
Ouais, je vois pas le rapport entre les bombes et les films. Dites-lui que moi, si je faisais pas de film, peut-être pas des bombes.
He says there is no relationship between films and bombs for him, but maybe
On a aussi dit que la caméra était une arme, mais c'est pas vrai, la caméra c'est pas vrai.
people also said that the camera was a gun, but it's not true. And he said maybe
Caméra c'est caméra, c'est une gun.
maybe if he was not making films, he would be making bombs, but still there is no relationships between bombs and films.
Yeah, oh, that's what I was asking.
Why do you overemphasize the sound of the birds in the film?
Parce que vous avez augmenté le son. It was not. It was like that. We did not change anything, and we did not add anything.
Not
And
even in the Egyptian town center?
No.
What about the sound?
they are very loud, much louder than in our countries, but it's like that.
They came by in they came up in a pattern as if they were being added.
No.
Was there a pattern in the jets going overhead? It seemed to be toward the end of some sequences when there were what seemed to be transitions. There were the sounds of
No,
aircraft.
it was
Was
just
there any
yes.
sound?
Yes.
It's only because we have a
But
certain news now.
Yes, but we have for such a thing you have to
Search for the right place where you cut.
and to shoot maybe 10 times or 50 times before you have something like that. It happens once and you can take it or put it away afterward.
You use the chance juxtapositions in the editing.
Yes.
We had the chance for this shot, but we had the woman on the donkey with the baby, and then the man, and then the young man, and with all that, the place. It was just.
So the same what I tried before to explain about nearness and distance is the same for persons in the film. At that moment we are 3-4 persons much near, and they are maybe becoming to be mythological persons. There remain peasants, not and no more, and what they are. But together with this reality, maybe you can see, I don't know, mythological persons. For example, the man after the donkey with the woman on the donkey looks like a king in a Greek tragedy or something like that. And that's the same with this plane noise. This plane, the noise of the plane. These planes are called Mirage, and they were given from Mr. Giscard to Mr. Sadat. That was a gift. And so sometimes on the country you have to.
Strange noise.
Yes, I ask this related to this question. Did you ever hide the camera, or did you rehearse some scenes, or how did you prevent the people who were walking past and looking at the camera?
Never hide.
Never hide and never rehearse. Just wait.
Wait.
But did you ask them not to look at the camera?
You can see a lot of persons going out from this fabric, looking at the camera and making salutation. What? Factory.
There, and also the children, but in the scenes when the people walk so close to the camera and walk right past.
They just walk like that. But we had some other shots or takes of the same shot with people. I don't like that. With people looking at the camera, and we just did not take them.
May I ask why?
Because you can take them. We took some with people looking, but it's not fair when they are becoming somewhere ridiculous. That's not fair for them, and that's not fair for us. So they can look without being ridiculous. But,
A maker has no right to hide the camera and has no right to make people ridiculous. With no, it does not exist a good intention which could allow that one.
It seems to me that the camera was trying not to be there in those close-up shots. That the camera, so that we were seeing the people as they were, but without their awareness of the camera, we were seeing someone artificial. But if you say the shots were natural, I accept that.
They just walked by and didn't do anything. But as I said, a lot of people did something or said something which was not taken.
It also depends on the people on the farm and the peasant's voice. They usually are not that much excited by the camera, they just leave them alone. Just like maybe.
Yes, but
And also
we had to wait sometimes half a day until the people were used to the camera there. But at the beginning, a lot of children came.
just like if you put the camera in State Street in Chicago, then many people will just come around and see them every day.
But the first work of the maker is to find the right place, the right point.
Yes, it's clear that if you stay in the middle of the way when people are walking, they have to look at you or to say something. If you find a place where you are not disturbing them, then you have a chance that they only go by.
Before we found the right point, which we think that it was the right point, we walked 10 times around the village and in the country, and to find a way or a street or a road or outside the road or a certain distance between the village and afterwards knowing a part of risks. This point was maybe apporté. Les risques, le poids qu'on avait choisi pouvait nous apporter.
Knowing the risk which the point we choose could bring.
Risk in good and in bad sense. Yes, you are. What? Painful to watch? I think this film, when you are not too tired, when you are not destroyed from 8 hours stupid work, could be and must be a great pleasure, and more than a pleasure, I think, pleasure. And I think an erotic pleasure. What was the question?
Well, I found it a terrific pleasure because I thought it was the life force was so tremendously, you showed that life force so clearly, the life force in general, the distance, the perspective, then with the human sound and the sounds of nature. I mean, I saw the rest of the life force to me.
Thank you.
That's what I thought really renewed a vision, or can renew a vision.
Thank you.
So that you haven't seen for a long time. And then you see how pure it was. And you think of all the gimmicks and the contrivance and other films. And you could, at least I enjoyed it tremendously from that point of view.
Thank you. But what was the question? Yes. Was it a question or was it not a question? No. We are not making film to be painful. We are, what? What?
You have to concentrate and to think. That's painful.
I don't think that concentration and thinking painfully. You have no pleasure without effort. You can say effort in English? Yes, even erotically not. So it does not exist pleasure without effort. It does not exist. Does not. Even respiration effort. It's an illusion, my dear.
Yes, I was wondering whether or not you place your film in a certain tradition, even if there are only a few filmmakers you think are working valuably. Sometimes when you talk tonight, you sound like you've been interested in ethnographic filmmaking procedures. Other times it sounds like perhaps you've been interested in maybe a film like Hiroshima Mon Amour with text and picture distance and Toronto many years ago. That's been where things have grown over, or even Louis et or something like this.
What was the last?
Louis et the Benet.
And we are.
Is there, if you look at your film, is in one tradition or another, or is it a brand new start?
Oh, I don't know. I saw the first film from René after making the Not Reconciled, and that was not Hiroshima. I do not like very much Hiroshima. Yes, it's a big tradition. We are not the tradition where I don't know. It is a lot of people. John Ford, for example, or Griffiths, or Stroheim, or Fritz Lang, or Chaplin, or Lubitsch, or I don't know, Renoir, Mizoguchi, and a lot of people.
In what way do you relate this to something like the cinema of John Ford?
This film, for example.
Or any of your films, your work?
Oh. I think the film called on each revolution is a throw of dice. It's a Fordian film, but it's not easy to explain why. A film like Autumn is a film with big contradiction between Fritz Lang and John Ford, for example. What do you want to say?
I was going to say it's that.
Yes,
well,
yeah.
well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for this.